Should Op have blown off a family dinner to attend a work event? Sobering perspective. I am not the Op. This is a repost sub. Allison's comments are available at the links but not posted here per her agreement with the mods. Content warning. Death. Less than. Mood spoiler. Bittersweet. Less than. Original post September 2012. I thought you could help settle a dispute my husband and I just had. My boss just now invited me to a reception to a professional conference happening this weekend. I was thrilled to be asked, but politely and apologetically declined because we have a long-standing dinner reservation with my husband's family and his elderly godmother, who is an amazing woman, and we haven't been able to see her in several months. Of course, both events start at exactly the same time. My husband thinks I should have blown off dinner and attended the reception. I feel my decision was correct based on the plans involved and the fact I didn't receive much notice for the reception. Had I had something less important planned, I would have certainly skipped it. Did I just commit a career blunder? I do make an effort to attend work functions in general, and I think the higher UPS know that. Update February 2013. 5 months later. I wrote to you a while back about declining a sudden work-related invitation in favor of keeping dinner plans with family that we don't get to see very often. I opted to keep the dinner plans with my husband's family and his godmother, because I felt that was more important than attending a reception for which I received a last-minute invitation from my boss. You and nearly all of your readers agreed. Sadly, my husband's godmother passed away suddenly yesterday morning. The pain of our loss is somewhat lessened by the fact that one of the last things we did with her was take her to a lovely dinner. I will be forever grateful that we didn't postpone this evening and miss out on this beautiful memory. You might not get another evening with your loved ones, but there will almost always be another work event to attend. Bittersweet, but I know Op is grateful every day for the decision they made. I had something like that happen, but not work-related. I was heading off to a date when my grandfather called. He had a solar hot water system on the roof, and it needed the valve to be opened because some trades had worked on it and forgotten to do it, but wouldn't come back until the next day, meaning they wouldn't have hot water that night. I knew it'd make me late, and at 18 spending time with a pretty girl was a high priority. But I went to help. It only took a minute to get up the ladder and open the valve. But my grandfather wanted to chat. We just stood in the yard talking about family, sports and stuff. I'd only recently turned 18, the first grandchild to do so, and it seemed a different conversation at the time. But I didn't pick up on it until later that he was talking to me as a man, not as a child in need of guidance. I had plans to go to uni, the first in my family to do that ever. He said he was proud and gave me the sort of all-encompassing hug that only a lifetime of manual labor and Popeye forearms can give. And off I went. He died a few days later from a heart attack. I did end up marrying the girl I went to see many years later, but I'm forever grateful that I had that moment with my grandfather. Life is short, and sometimes you need to follow your gut decision and spend time with loved ones. I'm glad she declined that work invite to spend time with the godmother. You might not get another evening with your loved ones, but there will almost always be another work event to attend. Very important lesson. One that really drives it all home. Especially those with kids who have important events and elderly relatives who you love. I'm glad Oop chose to go and had one last good memory. Plus won't be filled with regrets about it. And I choose to believe, since Oop didn't mention anything, that there was no retaliation in the workplace for not going. I regret missing so many holidays with my kid because of work. I never regret choosing her. I never regret spending time with my loved ones. I called out of work once for a weekend at a beach house with a friend and some of his high school friends. It was an amazing weekend. Some of the best memories of my early 20s. He passed away 6 months later. I am so thankful that I went and had that epic weekend with him. I thought the update would involve a petty boss's retaliation. I'm glad that's lacking, and that Oop made the right decision. Never blow off family you like for work. I think she did the right thing. My mom told me the story of when her father passed away unexpectedly. They'd just come home from a holiday late Saturday night and her parents asked them to come for Sunday lunch. Mom declined because they were tired and still had to do some cleaning and unpacking. They visited nearly every Sunday, so she figured they'd see each other sometime next week. Her dad unexpectedly died that Sunday night and she missed her chance to see him one last time. Ever since, she considers, would I regret not seeing this person one last time, in accepting, declining? It's a story that also really stuck with me. Some things are more important than others, and it's good to always keep that in mind. It's interesting to me that the husband, and a few others, would prioritize work over an elderly family member whom they're in good terms with. I've heard some people with bad relationships with their grandparents or parents. So in a sense it's understandable to skip family occasions. But when it's in a good relationship, why would people want to prioritize work compared to a person who doesn't have many years left? I hope this becomes an eye-opener for the husband and realize that work is just work. They're not family. And if push comes to shove where the employer needs to do layoffs, the employer will fire you if they feel someone can do the same thing for cheaper. You can be beefs with the boss and go to all work events, but you will get fired during a recession, if need be. Just came here to see if anyone else has read Miss Manner's Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior. Eyes. Speaking from a place of privilege, always prioritize yourself and your family before your job. You can always find a new job, but you can't replace your loved ones and your loved ones can't replace you. My husband and I had a lunch invite with his parents and grandparents on Father's Day a few years ago. I was 89 weeks pregnant and so sick I could barely move and we were going to skip it. At the last minute I just decided that we had to go and I could suck it up. It was a wonderful lunch, and despite agreeing to wait a bit longer to tell the family, my husband and I had a hasty discussion and announced to the family we were expecting. His grandpa went into hospital 3 days later and passed on his 90th birthday. I'm so thankful we went that day. It is a beautiful memory we both treasure. I'm glad you got to have that as well. I'm reading this in the international terminal after a 2-week trip I ended early because I want to spend Halloween with my kids' heart. 100% always pick family, in whatever form that takes, over work. Always. Sounds like the manager was just fine with Oop skipping the event. And they clearly are glad that they did. Glad that she got to see Godmother one last time. That husband would probably have hated himself if he had made her cancel. Nobody cares if you show up for work stuff or not. All they care about is the free booze. Ultimately very sad, but a story I hope I remember as I get older. May she rest well.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.